Hey everybody, it's Michael here from TRT Over 40. Today we're going to talk about TRT dosages, so testosterone replacement therapy dosages. There's a lot of people talking about how much they take. Is it weekly? Is it every 2 weeks? Some people even get shots every month. We're going to talk mainly about injections, but there's other forms of getting testosterone in your body. There's like a patch type system you can put on. There's gels that you put on under your armpit, I believe. There's pills. My father's actually on pills, testosterone pills. So those have to kind of go through the stomach, through the liver, that kind of, and kidneys and stuff. So you're probably going to need more than you would in an injection. You're going to need to take it more often than an injection. But all of these systems do work to some degree. Now, the pills, the patches, the gels, all that stuff, they're not going to be as effective as injections, but they are certainly easier for some people, right? But let's focus on the injections because that's really what we're talking about here today. I'm just going to say the average TRT dosage, generally speaking, is going to be around 100 per week to 200 milligrams per week. Some people are going to go lower. Some people might be as low as 80. Some people might go higher, even 250. Okay, and this is like doctor prescribed. We're not talking people that just say, "Hey, I need to be on TRT," and they stick 500 milligrams in their arm and they say, "Hey, I'm on TRT," right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking mainly about doctor prescribed. What are they going to do? So there's different types of testosterones out there, right? Testosterone, and it's mainly what it's put into, and they all act a little bit differently. But generally speaking, they're going to have about anywhere from say a week to a week and a half. They're going to stay in your system, maybe even up to 2 weeks, depending on what it is. So when you are getting say every 2-week injections, you're going to have like a lot at the beginning. It's going to kind of spike, and then it's going to taper off, probably down quite a bit before you get your next injection. So do I recommend every 2 weeks? Not really. I don't think it would be the best way to go, although some doctors do, probably because their clients don't want to get injections every week. But if you can do it every week, it's better. You're going to have more level testosterone, like your testosterone's not going to be up and down as erratic. It's not going to be as spiky. So, what is 100 milligrams going to do for you? Now, this being said, everybody's different. Everybody reacts and responds to it differently. But one thing you need to understand is if you're low in testosterone, or even if you're normal, okay, and you take testosterone, your body will stop producing its own. Not entirely, but a lot of it. So if you were producing normal amounts and you take an outside source of testosterone, your body's going to shut down your own system and barely produce if a little bit, but how much? That depends on you. So it's not like you're getting the shot of testosterone plus what your body's producing normally. It's like this, all of a sudden your body produces less and you're gonna sort of balance off high. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So you can't think, well, I'm already like in the high norm, so if I just take like 50 milligrams or 100 milligrams, that'll put me up and over. No, that's going to shut you down. So your body's going to see that as this testosterone all of a sudden is too high, and you're going to shut down. It always wants to create like an equilibrium. It always wants to self-regulate to the level that you normally are at. And if it's low, you're normally at a low level, that's where it's going to try to hit all the time. So that's why testosterone replacement therapy is for people that have low levels, because it's too low, your self-regulation is too low, and you want to get it up into at least the mid to high norms, right? So you feel normal and have similar testosterone levels as a healthy person. And what's going to get you there? It really depends on the person. I'm going to give you my own personal example. I've ranged anywhere for like what I would call a TRT type dosage, anywhere from 100 to 200. And they all work, and they work fine. I feel good. What's the difference? In terms of things like strength, very little. In terms of a little bit of mass, 200 will maybe bring me up an extra 5 pounds. How much of that's water, I don't know, but it does bring me up a little bit. 100, I tend to hold a lot less water. I tend to be a little bit more leaner looking, a little more shredded looking when I'm on 100. And I can tell you this because I've done shows on 100 milligrams of test. And then I did a show on, I believe it was 150 or 200 right after that. And I did put on a little bit of size for the next show, but I also trained my ass off for the next show. So I did put a little bit of weight on, maybe 5 pounds. In a short period of time, some of it might have been water. Was I as shredded for the second show as I was for the first show on the lesser amount? I felt I was more shredded on 100 milligrams. So, like, and there's a reason why bodybuilders, you know, sometimes you see these bodybuilders, they're massive, they're taking crazy amounts of hormones. It's really hard to dial it in and get shredded when you're on all of these things, because you could be holding water, you could be, you know, they affect you so many different ways, and dialing it in is very tough when you have all these chemicals running through your body. So if you're on a small dose, it's pretty easy. It's like your body at 100 milligrams. At 100 milligrams, I'm basically just above mid-range, okay? Just above. 120, I'm right between mid and high. 150, I'm getting close to the high point. 200, I'm probably hitting high, maybe a little bit over. Now, all of that kind of affects my estrogen as well. So when I'm at 100 to 120, I don't need to run any type of estrogen blockers at all, because I'm still in the norms. Once I get above 150, I start to get into the high norms. It starts to get into that area where you could start to hold water. You could start to see side effects from the higher estrogen. So that's what I would personally consider running estrogen blockers. Do you need them all the time? No, you don't. And this is just my personal experience. Some people are going to not be affected by it the same way. I feel that I get a lot of bang for the buck out of it, so I don't need to run crazy amounts to see results. You know, and I feel pretty good even on 100 milligrams. I don't feel like lethargic or anything, any of the side effects of low testosterone. On 100, I feel pretty good. On 200, I pretty much feel the same. I just have a little more size, a slight little, the strength isn't huge. Like, I've never gotten tons stronger on TRT. Even before I was on TRT, I was lifting some pretty heavy ass weight. Not as much, but I was still lifting a lot of weight. Getting on it helped a little bit, but we're talking like, you know, 10 to 15% increase, okay? It's not like, oh, I doubled my bench press when I went on TRT. And I've been working really, really hard since you know, even before and during and since I've been on TRT. So is it all the TRT? No, it's a combination of hard work, making sure I'm doing all the right things so my recovery is in order, and the TRT is just there to, you know, help me with situations like, obviously, like recovery, making sure the muscles are responding to the effort the best that they can, okay? Now, what about these crazy high dosages some people are getting on 250, 300, 400, 500 milligrams of TRT? Well, that's going to put you way up over the norms. That's not testosterone replacement therapy, in my opinion. It's starting to get into more like bodybuilding, you know. A lot of bodybuilders will cruise on 500. So what I mean by that is they take a lot more than that when they're training, because they need to take a lot more, and they're taking all kinds of other stuff too. But instead of like completely coming off of all the hormones and their body just shutting down and they feel like crap and they lose all their gains, they just dial it down, they stop taking all the orals and all the other stuff, and they literally just cruise on 500 until they're ready to do whatever they're going to do next, their next cycle for whatever show or whatever they're doing. So 500 milligrams, now you might think that's pretty high, like that's like more than double 200, that's more than double TRT, that must be just crazy amounts of gains. No, it's not. It's not going to be crazy amounts of gains. Again, you're going to put on a little size, you're going to put on a little strength, you're going to retain a little more water, but more importantly, you're probably going to keep your gains on 500 more than build. Like, you're not going to just get huge on 500. You're going to keep some of those gains that you had if you're on the higher levels. And from a health standpoint, there's a lot of research out there. Doctors, you know, TRT doctors will testify to this. 500 is not an unsafe dose. It's probably at the high end of it. So, you know, like, it depends on the person again. But what they say is 500 milligrams of test isn't hard on your body. It's not going to enlarge your heart. It's not going to affect you negatively at all, other than it could raise like your red blood cell count and thicken your blood. So you got to watch that. You might need some medication for that. It could raise your blood pressure and your water, holding water. So holding water will raise blood pressure. That's from estrogen. So if you bring your estrogen levels down, that should be fine. Liver, usually you're fine with any type of injectable. So you're not going to really affect your liver. It might affect your good and bad cholesterol, But here's the thing, like they use that good and bad cholesterol as an indicator to your health. And they're usually saying if your good is in a nice range and your bad is in a nice range, then they know everything's working properly. There's nothing that they have to consider that's affecting your cholesterol. When you take testosterone, it does, and other hormones, affect your good and bad cholesterol in a negative way on the readings. But they know what's causing it. It's different than, we don't know what's causing it. Is it your liver? Is it your kidney? Is it other things causing this? Is it your diet, right? They generally know with bodybuilders it's not their diet. They know it's the testosterone. And because they know what it is, they know it's not as negative as other things affecting it, okay? Over time, you definitely want to make sure your good and bad cholesterol are within decent ranges. I'm very fortunate. Whenever I've been checked out, my cholesterol, my doctor says, he says it's amazing. Like people would, I don't know why he says it would die from my cholesterol readings. And that's even on TRT. So, so you have to, obviously diet, health and fitness, making sure you're not doing stupid stuff is going to affect that as well. So hopefully that gives you an idea. You don't need to be on crazy amounts of testosterone to feel the benefits. 80 to 100 could do it, and I think it's a good starting point for some people. 100 milligrams, really depends on what your goals are. Now, if you're a bodybuilder and you're training hard and you're into athletics and you're really into the sports, then you might want to jump it up to 200 because you are going to see a very small benefit in terms of strength and muscle size. Again, it's not like night and day, okay? It's not like I take 100 and I take 200, all of a sudden I can double my bench. It's not anything like that. From 100 to 200, you'd be lucky to see a 10% improvement, okay? It's that low. Sometimes things like creatine can give you a 10% improvement. So that gives you an idea. It's not what you think, okay? Most of what you're going to see in terms of benefits at the gym is hard work. There's tons of guys on all kinds of gear. I go to the gym, I talk to people about this sometimes, and I'm blown away at some of the amounts that some people are on, and you would never know it. Like, they look okay, but do they look like they're on that kind of gear? No. So, it's a lot of it's what you do in the gym, out of the gym, your lifestyle, how hard you train, how you eat, all of that stuff is super important, right? So don't just think, I'm gonna go on TRT and it's gonna do everything for me. No, you gotta do the work too. The more you do, the more you train, the better you eat, the better results you're gonna get on it, okay? So hopefully that helps. It's been a little bit since I made a video. I've been doing this contest prep, so I've been trying to cut down. Check out my GetFitOver40.com video or channel. That's where I've got more of my contest prep stuff. And so I'm still working towards that, which is about 7 weeks away, the show. So things are going to dial in real nice. I'm right on track. Everything's going real well. All right, thanks for watching another TRTOver40.com video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on the other channels and stuff. I don't really have Facebook and Twitter channel yet for this channel. It's just basically a YouTube channel, but you can check out my Get Fit Over 40 channel. There's a lot more going on there. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.